Well, but I watched the Country Music Awards, and I saw all of the groupies down front, and I know you and Deanne were down there waving your arms back and forth right there on the front row. She was there amongst all these teenagers, it looked like, and I didn't see you there, but I know you were there.
Yeah, she had on the Daisy Dukes.
Yeah.
And I had on the 80s fishnet t-shirt.
Yeah.
You know, it was lime green. You couldn't miss us.
Yeah.
That was on purpose.
Well, I did miss you. How do they set those things up?
Which one?
Because one of the questions, or one of the things as I watched it, I said I want to talk about the Country Music Awards and how you all go down there and spend several days.
Yeah, you just sort of hang out, and the artists would come in. They come in and talk to you most of the time before they go on stage, and just to promote themselves and act like your buddy, even though they don't remember you from one year or the other. But you know,
does anybody remember you?
Yeah, actually, over the years you get to know a few of them. You know, it's like people like Blake Shelton. You know, who started out forever ago and was having to come to the radio station and sing. You know, to get yeah, and you know he's not a fellow that forgets, and you know, there are actually several of them that are like that. But it's pretty cool. It's cool stuff.
Well, okay, so you all went down there, and the idea is to promote 98 Won the Bowl, and so you interview them. Who are the people that are the easiest to interview and the most likable for you?
You know, I'm not going to say who, there's only one that's really not likable. I'll just leave it at that. And that's not the truth. Like every one of them, they're either trained to be nice or they are nice. That's the truth. There's nobody that's a jerk in you know, in that genre at all.
Is there a genre? What does that
That's
mean?
music.
Is that bro country?
Funky word. No, that's just about what type of music it is. Rock.
Now you said several years ago you were impressed with how nice and down to earth Taylor Swift was.
Oh yeah, Taylor's got it down. You know, Taylor used to come in and play the Walmarts, and the thing with Taylor is she remembers. Well, I don't know if she remembers, but she has her people remember. You know, everybody. So she likes to do her research before she comes in and talks to someone. She knows as much about you as you do her through her people, and you know she can she can really rock that. You know, to the point that she'll know who your kid is, and you know she'll ask you how your daughter is, and you know, and just little tidbits about things. But listen, she's a smart person. She's got marketing people that do that and handle it. But you know that's just the fact you go to that effort is a pretty cool thing, and that's where she is where she is. You know, she does that to this day. So her mom's real strong-minded too. I think she gets like that from her mom. Her dad's sort of laid back and more free-spirited. You know, he's a pilot and likes to do fun things, and mom's all business. So I think they're split up now, though. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
What about Brad Paisley? You're a big.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Brad's a real smart guy. You know, he's a businessman. Like Brad. You know, he's he doesn't drink, but he writes a lot of songs about alcohol. You know, it's what works for him, kind of deal. And he can translate about anything into a song. He's one of these guys that can write a song very impromptu. He's just got a mind like a country. I was going to say Robin Williams, but after Robin's tragedy, you probably don't want to compare that. But the same kind of deal. If you ever watch Robin Williams do impromptu, Brad can do that with music. It just comes to him like that. So, you know, there's a reason these people are on top. That's one thing you learn in dealing with it. You know, the people on top are there for a reason. It's never just talent. You know, it's very rare to get there just because of talent. There's something else about each person that makes them sharp. Normally, they're business people. They're people, combination of both. And that's, you know, I think all successful people, whatever they're doing, probably share that. You know, for the most part.
Allison Beck, who is the person that comes with us when we do In Touch, was talking a little bit about, she's a 98 Won the Bowl fan, and when you all were planning on going to Nashville, I told her, I said, I want to talk about the Country Music Awards, and I said that's not much Law and Order, but I wanted to talk about it. I'll tell you, who's the guy, big guy, that is very, very wealthy? Toby Keith.
Toby Keith.
Tell me about Toby Keith.
You know, you don't see much of Toby anymore. Toby, especially with the CMAs. I mean, he got mad at the CMAs because a long time ago, and I don't know whether it's as simple as he didn't get an award or he doesn't believe in the process of how those things are nominated.
Mm-hmm.
And he just refused to go. So you'll never see Toby at the CMA award show. You'll never see him part of anything with the CMAs. Sometimes he'll get something nominated, but he didn't show up. So he sort of boycotted them, did his own thing. So I have not spent a lot of time. In fact, I don't know that I've ever met Toby Keith. He's one of the few that we've not come in contact with simply because of that. Because a lot of what we do is there in Nashville. And now his daughter, Crystal, now she will. She's trying to start a music career, and she comes out to the CMAs, and you know she just sort of rolls her eyes up when you ask her about that. You know, as dad, whatever. He's a full kind of deal.
Staying power.
But I do hear Toby's a good guy. Toby spends a lot of time in Lexington.
Oh, he does?
Oh yeah. He's got really into horses, and he's got friends here. And when Toby comes to town, he's got a couple little bars he'll go to, and that he'll hang out and sometimes play. So the people that know Toby really like him, and he does have some roots here in Lexington. So.
Huh. I can't keep up with all of the new singers, the new artists, I guess they call themselves. They seem to, a lot of flash in the pan, kind of.
You're talking about one-hit wonders kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably more so than not. You know, not everyone has the longevity there. Normally, you're going to have to get through a couple of albums before you're there. So just having one album with a couple of #1 songs. In fact, they really don't make money. I hear until they get to about the third album because of the way their deals are cut. They have to pay back the record companies for the investment in them. So the first couple of albums, they're making what they're going to make. They really don't hit pay dirt until they get about 3 albums out there.
Well,
writers make a lot of
money. It's fascinating to sit and listen and talk to you about this whole showbiz industry and so forth, because the dynamics of record. There's no more, not a lot of record deals anymore, and
well, that's part of the issue with the music industry is people don't want to pay for music. They rip it off the internet. Country music, you talk about that particular, it's less in
genre.
It's less in country music than it is in for lack of a better term, pop or rap or even rock. With Double Q and the Cat, they're all stations that we're on. But country, people are still buying country music, and that helps. So it's not like it used to be. They say there'll never be even Taylor Swift, as big as she is, she probably won't surpass somebody like Hall & Oates in record sales or profits, I should say, simply because people will still take her music. She'll have more downloads, but
how do they count success?
Hall & Oates, for instance, back in the 80s, if you wanted a Hall & Oates song, and I'm sure you liked Man Eater and some of those songs.
Yeah, right, yeah.
If you wanted a Hall & Oates song, you had to go buy the record. You couldn't just get it off the internet. So those guys, Brooks and Dunn in the country music, did the same thing. They outsold anybody. But now, they're just not going to sell as much. They make, they still make money through sales, but really, if you can't tour and put on a show and fill a house these days, it's very difficult to be successful. And that's why you don't have as many, artists that are in the top tier, because if you can't fill Rupp Arena, then it's difficult for you to make money. So you make a lot of money on the shows now, and it takes big ones. And like in country's Luke Bryan, for instance, people like Eric Church, and the people that you see come to Rupp. A lot of the artists have to pull together and do shows together in order to make it. So it's an interesting business, and there aren't as many record companies as there used to be in Nashville. They were everywhere, but now They've really, and even groups that traditionally would have no problems getting their deals redone, it's not a guarantee anymore, because if you can't tour, the record companies, they really really stay away from it.
So the most successful, I would have to guess, is Taylor Swift.
Well, I would
Because
guess
she's
too. Yeah, she is.
she's a phenomenon. Because I watched a little bit of the CMAs over the years, and she made some kind of a switch from being country to being pop, whatever that is.
She did. You know, early on, Taylor was very pure country, but then, you know, when she reached a point where she wanted to make a switch over to pop, and she did that, and it was interesting.
How was she accepted by the? Is there a?
About, you mean by the pop people?
Yeah, no, by the anybody. How did the
well,
it's almost like turning your back on the country people.
No, I mean, there may be some people that think that way, but the reality of it is there are also people in country music that wanted to go away too, because you're taking up all the airtime. You know, so for everything there's an advantage and disadvantage. But she brought young people to country music, which really helped that particular genre. And you know, now she's transitioned to pop, and she's doing very well there. If you look at her transition versus somebody like Miley Cyrus, it's interesting how she did it. She was able to keep her core, you know, and stay a lot more pure. You know, a lot of those kid stars, and Miley Cyrus is a great example. She's totally screwed up. Your kids watch them on Hannah Montana and watch them as their kids, and then suddenly they turn 17 or 18 and they go totally bonkers, and everything becomes about, you know, sex and weirdness, and they disappoint the kids or they influence them in that bad direction. Taylor, she didn't do that. That's the biggest thing I like about Taylor Swift. She did country. She got the young girls that all really like her and support her, and then when she made the transition to pop, she kept it classy. So, and I guess that's hard to do, but she made it look pretty easy, and so in that way, you know, Taylor's been super successful. She wasn't first forced to get down in the dirt to get attention. So, and you know, there are people haters that always said she didn't have talent, you know, when she first started singing, and you know, she obviously had talent, but there's a big difference. And now she was singing at 15 and what she's doing now. She was just a prolific writer, you know, and she's able to, she was able to make her own sound, and just, you know, so some people are tired and burned on her, some people didn't like her, but you've got to respect that particular artist and what she's done.
Oh, I think it's, we have a young woman in our office named Abigail Watkins, who I think resembles Taylor Swift, and when she walked into our office, that's the first thing I thought. And turns out she's super smart and has become our techno-savvy person, and manages our social media, of which we do a great deal.
Can she sing?
I haven't asked. I'll tell her you asked.
We'll see you next week on In Touch.